Mr. Wonderful says the FTX collapse was because of Binance. Today, CZ calls Mr. Wonderful a effing liar. Today on OG Crypto and NFTs, you know my name. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in NFTs and digital assets. And you're never gonna guess who just launched their new NFT out there. You got it. The madman, the orange man did. That's who did. And we're gonna go over his NFT and Scotty Pippen and his NFT today. So before we jump in, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna give you the best 5 to 10 minutes and the craziest 5 to 10 minutes in digital assets, crypto, and NFTs on a daily basis. Get right into it. All right, look at this mugshot. Only a mom could love. So yesterday in front of Congress, Mr. O'Leary, Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful of Shark Tank comes up and he has some good things to say and then some really stupid things to say. And it really makes me think, what really is happening over there at FTX and what was his relationship with Sam Bankman-Fried? So I'll just read this, the decrypt. The story here, headline says, Binance deliberately caused FTX collapse. Kevin O'Leary. This is very interesting because we all know that yesterday, 2 days ago, Johnny Ray, head of the CEO of FTX, the current one that's going through bankruptcy with FTX and Alameda, he's just said it's fraud, fraud, fraud. It's QuickBooks. It is the worst run company that's gone bankrupt, that's had fraud ever. Yet Mr. Wonderful walks up and he's saying that Binance had a lot to do with it. And then this morning on Squawk Box, we saw CZ jump in and give his 2 cents on what happened. We're going to go to that in a second, but I have something to say about Kevin O'Leary here. I used to be a big Kevin O'Leary fan. I know he's harsh. Shark Tank wasn't his best moments, but I thought he was fighting here for crypto industry. But the more and more you listen to him, is since this FTX collapse, the more and more there's some diabolical behind closed doors BS he had with Sam Bankman-Fried. He had said yesterday on a number of occasions, he made phone calls directly into Sam Bankman-Fried asking him about his finances, and that Sam Bankman-Fried continued to come up with different answers. And what pisses me off about this is that if you watch Shark Tank, he eats people alive when they do that. Yet he was gonna go and allow this stuff to happen. And I think there was a bigger master plan that was happening here that none of us have been revealed yet. But I think there's a few bad actors that are gonna sing, including Carolyn Ellison, that I think she's already singing somewhere, and they're gonna go after Gary Wang and all the boys that received all kinds of money on this collapse. So let's jump right into it. CZ this morning actually on Squawk Box. Q.
So he invested in FTX without looking at the cap table, but he was very specific in the way he counts for a transaction 2 years ago. So that's kind of contradictory. So I think Calvin's a liar. So I think he's lying about a bunch of stuff. So that's his problem. To us, we want to be transparent. We want to set the golden standard for reliability, solidness in this space.
I think CZ knows a lot more of what's happened behind the FTX and Alameda collapse. I think that in the industry, all the kings and queens of all these exchanges really know what happened. They had conversations with each other. They talked. They knew how to, let's say, manipulate the markets themselves. And I think that because of that, he knows that Kevin O'Leary and Justin Sun of Tron, they had a bigger plan that they were trying to take effect. Now, if you watch Twitter Spaces, I know that there's been a few ones that have speculated on what's happened, but the continual conversation with Kevin O'Leary talking about CZ being the issue, never saying Sam's the issue, yet I've come out and told Kevin O'Leary, hey, if you want a CFO, then why don't you hire Sam Bankman-Fried? Well, obviously you wouldn't. You'd be embarrassed to do that. It's embarrassing that you're even defending him right now. This guy is worse than Madoff. let's just end it today with that being Sam Bankman-Fried, 5 minutes. But there's just a lot still that hasn't been revealed. I want to know, we haven't even talked about the whole Gary Gensler and what that could tie in with Kevin O'Leary as well, which I think there's going to be a little road. There's only 1 degree of separation between the two. All right, next article. You know what? We're bringing in Emi here, our producer.
Hi.
How you doing, Emi?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I know that, you feel bad about, harsh conditions in prison, all those things going on. What do you think about Sam Bankman-Fried?
I think if Sam Bankman-Fried cared about being in horribly harsh conditions, maybe he shouldn't have done things that would make him a felon.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah, pretty simple, right?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Well, it's kind of funny is that we've had this conversation several times. We see the media continue to get this sympathy card to him, even when he's been proven by a bankruptcy, the FTX CEO, the new CEO, saying that they were proven that they commingled funds and he committed fraud. We have the SEC giving 8 counts of fraud. We have a New York judge or attorney, prosecutor saying that he committed all this fraud. Yet we're still seeing this sympathy card for him. What do you think is happening here?
Well, I mean, it did come out that he was paying off specific news outlets having to do with crypto reporting. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was something similar, or if the news is just trying to sensationalize this story as much as possible while they can. Either or, he deserves whatever he's getting. He broke the law and he made these choices, and now he's gonna have to pay for them, period.
Yeah, regardless.
So
Go ahead and jump into the NFT space here. NFT, that's fine. NFT, yeah. NFT space. NFT. There you go.
There we go.
All right. So the news of the day on NFT world, and I said this, and I'll say my 2 cents, and I'll let you say your 2 cents. Hate him, love him. It doesn't matter what you think of Donald Trump. What he did today was extremely significant. And what he did was bring in adoption to NFTs, probably the biggest adoption that NFTs can get.
Yes. I feel like when you look at this in conjunction with that TV show I showed you.
Yeah, The Boys.
No, not that one. The makeup show with the NFTs being their topic.
Okay.
We'll cover that. We'll cover that. I feel like it just shows that adoption is moving along a lot quicker than people realize, and that with Trump doing it, it's definitely going to get it into a major mainstream market understanding. Yeah, for sure. I'm still sick.
That's funny. I feel that a lot of news outlets, especially ones that are really pro the current government, they're just going to beat him up on this. I'm perfectly fine with it. Beat him up, but people are going to realize that this is a real industry, right? Yeah. Isn't it? It's coming off as like this is a way to go to the future of now. Is it, ape pictures or Trump pictures or animal pictures?
One thing that I think is very interesting in this is that they do not really highlight the word NFT. Like it's technically in here,
yeah,
right? But they're calling it a Trump digital trading card.
Why do you think?
I think they're being very specific in the way that they're wording this, so that the everyday man who may think that crypto or NFTs are a scam could have this be their segue into the Web3 industry. So I think the utility that he's offering is actually very interesting. You can have a dinner with him in Miami. You can go to a cocktail hour in Mar-a-Lago. You can play golf with him and his friends. Like, this is absolutely hilarious and wild. So whether you love Trump, whether you hate Trump, this is a very interesting concept. And I love that they just photoshopped a skinnier version of his head on a fit body.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, everyone looks good in Web3. You know that. You know that.
I'm fucking dead, dude. It's so funny.
All right. Let's jump to the next one.
Next one.
Scotty Pippen. You know the Bulls. You know back in the 90s, the Bulls were the team. Well, it was MJ and Scotty Pippen. Well, look what he's doing himself. And before we all jump and say that Trump is just doing it for the money, he's not doing it for the money. We know that people are doing it for the money. I'm not saying Scotty Pippen is, but it's just interesting that Scotty Pippen's launched his own sneaker NFT collection. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know he had anything outside of Nike and
this actually didn't really get a lot of press. Yeah. Really. I had to dig for this one, and I found it 2 days late.
Right, it does.
Which is kind of interesting.
It didn't really pop up.
Yeah, it didn't really pop up.
I'm a Scotty Pippen fan. I actually like Scotty Pippen. I think it's cool. It's just, I just hope that somewhere down the road that this is an actual shoe that you can purchase, and these are just not a bunch of NFTs that you're just putting out to make money on. You've got to have something behind it. I think utility is important. Utility
and having a phygital, meaning your digital NFT, and then a physical item. I feel like when you do the phygital concept, it makes it a completely different vibe. If you want more information, you go to Scotty Pippen Instagram.
Yeah.
And okay, so Gucci launches new immersive metaverse experience. This is very interesting. As we keep covering, a lot of these luxury and high-end fashion houses are all jumping into Web3, NFTs, metaverse, anything they can.
Yeah.
Anything they can. They're all jumping on. I think they've seen other brands' success, and they're all FOMOing in hard.
Right.
Hard. Super hard. So the reason that I found this one interesting is because Gucci is actually teaming up, or it's Gucci Vault in the Sandbox, which, I don't know, this is just so interesting to me. It feels like they're almost trying to jump on any type of success that the Sandbox already had and just do like their version of it, you know what I mean? So I don't feel like this is anything super groundbreaking or really very different. They've done other Web3 stuff. It's just kind of interesting that it's coming out now around Art Basel time. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super excited on this, but I think it's an interesting concept that is coming out.
So what I think is happening here is Gucci came out with their NFT collection about 6 to 9 months ago, beginning of the year, as I recall. And they were super hard to get.
It says it right here. So they launched Gucci Town with Rollerbox back in May.
Okay.
That's what they're talking about, yeah.
Right. So they had bought in Sandbox before that. So they bought plots of Sandbox, a huge bunch of... So they were already thinking in advance. I think that they jumped in and then they figured it out.
Yes.
Versus they figured out, then jump in.
Yeah.
And what they did was they caused all these super high brands, when they jumped in and then figured out, all those brands go, well, hold on, Gucci's in, even though it's not even close to the finished product or a polished product, but... holy shit, I jumped in, I made the splash, I got the publicity, and this was before you were even hired here. And then when you were hired here, a lot of these high-end brands, I would never even know. You were like, Troy, look at this. And I'm like, well, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this has really opened my eyes personally to all these high-end brands that are just like, it's almost like they got jealous. Right? And they go, we have to jump in. And it's almost like, again, we're talking about adoption. What are we talking about adoption today? A polarizing figure, a Hall of Fame basketball player, and a high-end luxury
fashion brand. Yeah.
All on the same day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is.
All on the same day. December 15th.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. And that was a good show.
That was a good show. Hey, click. Hey, guys, have a fantastic day. If you like the content, hit it like below. If you have a comment or 100 or 1,000, leave them down below. The question of the day, would you buy the Trump NFT or digital asset card?
No. The question of the day is, would you buy 45 of them for a discount?
Yes. There you go.
Okay.
You guys take care. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye.